Welcome to Ask the Lawyer International Edition with attorney Brian Figueroa of the law firm Figueroa and Associates in New York. We hope you enjoy the show, which features immigration visitors visa, starting and doing business in New York, entertainment and business visas, religious visas, and much more. Whether you are outside the U.S. or have family in New York, the number to call, share, and keep is 855-768-8845. That's 855-768-8845. Please schedule a consultation with us at www.askthelawyer.us. That's www.askthelawyer.us. This is Ask the Lawyer International Edition. You have questions? We've got the answers.
Welcome to Ask the Lawyer, your premier Jamaican radio show dedicated to unraveling the complexities of the U.S. immigration system. Hosted by me, Ashley Dawkins, a proud Jamaican national, alongside esteemed New York-based immigration attorney Brian Figueroa, who brings over a quarter century of specialized experience. Together, we explore the benevolent aspects of immigration law, particularly focusing today's show on family petitions, a testament to the U.S. government's commitment to uniting families. Is the United States a love government? The show offers valuable insights and advice on starting the immigration process, delivers the latest immigration news, and features engaging discussions, including a notable segment with Miss Lantoinette Steins, creative director of LACADCO. Tune in to Ask the Lawyer for insightful guidance through the intricate world of immigration. Mr. Figueroa?
Good day. My name is Brian Figueroa of the law firm Figueroa and Associates. This is Ask the Lawyer. You got questions, we got answers. The number to call, the number to keep, and the number to share is 855-768-8845. Again, 855-768-8845. Is the U.S. government a love government or a government that destroys families? Many times you hear these Republicans talk about values and family, and families must stay together, and when they use this rhetoric in Congress, especially these Republicans led by KKK, Rush, and Trump, and other Republican presidents that have actually lacked good moral character. Unfortunately, the last one that I thought was the devil, Ronald Reagan, he passed, an amnesty, for those who came into the U.S. before January 1st, 1982. So, listen, you don't qualify for it. But, yeah. So, is the government of the United States of America, and we're talking about the federal government, those U.S. senators, 100 distinguished people, and the House of Representatives based on proportional representation, is this a love government or a family that destroys family? Because U.S. immigration policy does not respect the families that come to the United States of America. Why? Well, once you come to the United States of America as a family, yes, let's say you come to the U.S., husband, wife, and their 2 kids, let's say they're 4 and 5 years old. Once you come to the U.S. and you overstay your time, by 1 day, your visa is canceled. Once you overstay by 6 months, it means that you have accumulated unlawful presence and you're subject to a 3-year bar if the U.S. Once you overstay by a year, you have accumulated unlawful presence, which now bans you for 10 years. Which means once you're here, maybe they don't want you to leave because you are cheap labor. However, these families come into America. How can they legalize? What is the relief for people who come here and overstay? And basically, the only category available to people who come to the U.S. and overstay their time that are married, like those who are single, are, if you have a child 21 years or older, a U.S. citizen petitioning for you, or you are 21 years or older, a U.S. citizen petitioning for your parent, or a parent petitioning for their child, 21 years or older, a U.S. citizen, or you get married to a U.S. citizen. And in order to get married to a U.S. citizen, for that family that came here, they have to get a divorce. Does that promote keeping families together? No. Was this a deliberate act of Congress? The Life Act of December 21st, 2000, signed by, non-family person, President Clinton. Well, he's the one who said that that oral sex is not sex. Yes. Poor Mrs. Clinton. Yes. So maybe that kind of explains why he thinks that, immigrant families shouldn't be qualified for a green card, that the husband really has to divorce the wife or the wife vice versa in order to legalize here. Maybe he wanted a divorce from, is Hillary's name? Yeah, Hillary Clinton. But he couldn't ask her for a divorce because, hey, he's the president of the United States of America, and he just decided to have an affair. Whatever the rationale for President lack of family values Clinton, and I don't think he was a good president. Believe me, when you look at his track record of the legislations passed during his tenure, please, why are the Obamas close to him? Damn. Anyway, so U.S. immigration law is not friendly to whom? Yes, families. In that family, when they come here to the U.S., not only is the option a divorce, how about them two children? Well, if they get a divorce, married a U.S. citizen, the husband's new wife or the wife's new husband could petition for those children, as long as when they get married to this U.S. citizen, their children is less than 18 years old, even though they're undocumented and they're here in the U.S. As I said, that's the exception to the rule, which is the obviously ban on legalization for people who overstay their time in the United States of America. Yes, immoral Congress, immoral Senate, immoral U.S. government, immoral President Clinton. Damn. Whoa. You think that the Republicans might be doing this? Well, hey, it makes no difference a Democrat or a Republican where immigration law is concerned, because both parties dominated by white people are more interested in white power and not interested in, obviously, endangering non-white children and marriages. My name is Brian Figueroa, the law firm Figueroa & Associates. This is Ask the Lawyer. You got questions, we got answers. The number to call, the number to keep, the number to share is 855-768-8845. Again, 855-768-8845. So when you wives and husbands out there send your spouses to America and they end up divorcing you in the Caribbean, Africa, Latin America, this is the dilemma that they're in. What can they do? How do I tell my wife? How do I tell my husband? In order for me to legalize, I have to divorce them. In order for me to petition for my children, I have to find a new wife or new husband. And this is no mistake, my people. This is the U.S. government, like what they have done to African Americans throughout U.S. history, they do to people of color coming from all over the world. Africa, Latin America, the Caribbean. They want to destroy us, not only economically, but spiritually. And this is the unfortunate truth of America, and that is why there's no comprehensive immigration reform, because the Republicans and the Democrats have no love lost for us. What they see us as is what they talk about in the Bible. Gentiles? What were Gentiles? Check your Bible. Again, my name is Brian Figueroa of the law firm Figueroa & Associates. This is Ask the Lawyer. You got questions, we got answers. The number to call, the number to keep, the number to share is 855-768-8845. Again, 855-768-8845. Our website, Figueroa & Associates, go to www.askthelawyer.us. Again, www.askthelawyer.us. Love your family. Peace.
Do you have a legal issue, question, or concern? Turn to Ask the Lawyer. You have questions? We've got answers. For a consultation or to refer a client, visit www.askthelawyer.us. Again, www.askthelawyer.us. You can also register for our paralegal program, get legal news, business consults, or other information on educational issues. Yes, Ask the Lawyer. You have questions? We've got answers. For a consultation or to refer a client, visit www.askthelawyer.us. Again, www.askthelawyer.us.
The United States is consistently ranked among the best internationally for its competitiveness. Are you planning to start a new business or branch of your business in New York? Attend our Chamber Coalition's 5-week webinar series, Small Business Sense Bootcamp. We provide education and business preparation for small business owners and startups. Learn the basics of business planning, how to finance your business, business credit, marketing, and social media strategies, small business solutions, legal, tax, accounting, banking, and insurance, and how to do business within New York City, New York State, and corporations. Register at startupsbootcamp.eventbrite.com.
Love is in the air. Do you know that a prenup or an irrevocable trust can say, "I love you" in a way flowers and chocolates never could? Ask the Lawyer. Let the law firm of Fig, Arrow and Associates show you how. Don't hesitate. Call 855-768-8845 or visit www.askthelawyer.us to schedule an appointment today.
Divorce, separation, support, custody. The common factor? They keep you up at night. Sleep well knowing that you have the law firm of Figueroa & Associates on your side through this difficult time. Don't divorce your money. Don't divorce your children. Divorce your spouse. Whether it's a contested or uncontested divorce, the law firm of Figueroa & Associates will guide you through every step of the process. From child custody to property and debt concerns, the law firm of Figueroa & Associates has the experience and expertise in handling cases involving significant assets and complicated issues. A divorce can be one of the most unpleasant experiences a person ever has to go through. Don't do it alone. Stop the sleepless nights and call the law firm of Figueroa & Associates, 855-768-8845. That's 855-768-8845 or visit 311divorce.com. That's 311divorce.com. At the law firm of Figueroa & Associates, a divorce is not the end, it's a new beginning.
Hi, my name is Brian Anthony Figueroa, and you are listening to Ask the Lawyer with my father, Brian Figueroa.
Welcome to America, How to Get a Green Card, an Ask the Lawyer International Edition segment with attorney Brian Figueroa of the law firm Figueroa & Associates in New York. Are you planning to migrate to the U.S.? Do you have family in the U.S.? In this segment, learn about the consequences of entering the U.S. with or without inspection, unlawful presence, family, faith-based, and fiancé petitions, the impact of fraudulent visas when applying for a green card, and more. Please schedule a consultation with us at www.askthelawyer.us. That's www.askthelawyer.us. This is Ask the Lawyer, International Edition. You have questions, we've got the answers.
Yes, this is Ask the Lawyer. You have questions? We've got the answers. The number to call, the number to share, and the number to keep is 855-768-8845. That's 855-768-8845. Or you can visit us at www.askthelawyer.us. That's www.askthelawyer.us. And today we are going to be discussing family-based petitions. So, what are family-based petitions? Family-based petitions allow for individuals in the United States to sponsor their family to immigrate to the United States. The Immigration and Nationality Act allows for immigration of foreigners to the United States based on a relationship to a U.S. citizen or legal permanent resident. Can a U.S. citizen sponsor a family member? Yes. If you are a U.S. citizen, you may petition for the following relatives as long as you can prove their relationships. 1. Husband or wife. 2. Unmarried children under 21 years old. 3. Unmarried son or daughter over 21 years old. 4. Married son or daughter of any age. 5. Brothers or sisters if you are at least 21 years old. And 6. Mother or father if you are at least 21 years old. Can a green card holder sponsor a family member? If you are a lawful permanent resident green card holder, you may petition for the following relatives as long as you can prove the relationships. 1. Husband or wife. 2. Unmarried child under 21 years of age. 3. Unmarried son or daughter over 21 years of age. If you are planning to file for a family member, call right now. Get a consultation. Call 855-768-8845. That's 855-768-8845. Or visit us at www.askthelawyer.us. That's www.askthelawyer.us. Remember, the lawyer you hire does make a difference. Immigration law is very complex and always changing. Hiring an experienced lawyer or law firm can help minimize mistakes and improve your chance of success. In many immigration situations, you do not want to risk representing yourself or applying without the advice of an experienced immigration professional, usually an attorney that's a member of AILA, the American Immigration Lawyers Association. Failing to work with an immigration lawyer can lead to wasted money, wasted time, and frustration, and also loss of benefits. So take advantage. Call right now, 855-768-8845. That's 855-768-8845. Or visit us at www.askthelawyer.us. That's www.askthelawyer.us. This is Ask the Lawyer. You have questions. We've got the answers.
Our weekly immigration news roundup is brought to you by the law firm of Figueroa & Associates. For a consultation on any immigration or legal matter, please call 855-768-8845. That's 855-768-8845. For full stories and more immigration news, visit www.theimmigrantsjournal.com. That's www.theimmigrantsjournal.com.
Hello, my name is Mary Campbell, legal assistant at the law firm of Fig, Rowe & Associates, and a presenter with this week's immigration news. We begin with House passes bill strengthening ability to block immigrants for DUIs. The House passed a bill Thursday, February 1, strengthening laws to prevent non-citizens convicted of driving under the influence from immigrating to the country or to deport them. The bill passed with a 274 to 150 vote, with 59 Democrats joining all 215 Republicans in backing the legislation. DUIs are already grounds for deportation in some cases, and it's well understood by those seeking to gain residency that such a conviction can hinder the process of adjusting their status. 200 immigration-related bills have already been introduced in state legislatures in 2024. Amid inaction from the federal government on immigration policy and growing calls for action from localities, some state legislatures are taking a proactive role in welcoming immigrants and refugees. Once again, states are leading the way on immigration policy. In the U.S., despite being less than a month into the 2024 state legislative cycle, state legislatures have introduced numerous proposals advancing immigrant-inclusive policies, with the American Immigration Council already tracking over 200 immigration-related bills. The policies are varied, ranging from those aiming to remove barriers to occupational licensure to get more high-skilled immigrants into jobs, to bills establishing offices of new Americans to bolster immigrants' integration and access to essential services and information. Biden administration can remove Texas razor wire barrier at the border. Supreme Court rules buoy barriers with chainsaw devices in the Rio Grande River. Coils of concertina wire along the riverbank. Armored Humvees blocking access roads. Piles of dirt rendering gates unusable. Governor Greg Abbott's cruel attempts to booby-trap the Texas border to prevent U.S. Border Patrol agents from reaching migrants might be considered comical, if not for the many human lives put at risk and the threat to the rule of law that result from his Wile E. Coyote-inspired antics. Texas' latest violent and lawless tactics have led to the deaths of multiple migrants, as well as an escalating standoff between federal and state authorities that challenges the core principles of how our government is supposed to function. The Supreme Court on Monday, January 29, finally stepped in to mediate one arena of the feud between the federal government and Texas, issuing a temporary ruling in favor of the Biden administration. Meanwhile, in New York, Attorney General James takes action to protect Dreamers, and DACA program New York Attorney General Letitia James today co-led a multi-state coalition of 23 attorneys general against Texas' ongoing effort to end the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals DACA program. In the amicus brief filed before the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit, the coalition urges the court to reverse the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of Texas decision that the DACA program is unauthorized by law. The DACA program has allowed over 800,000 recipients to live, study, and work across the United States free from the fear of being forcibly separated from their families and communities. No American should fear being forced from their home and loved ones because of their immigration status, said Attorney General James. We are a nation built by immigrants, and everyone should have access to the American dream. In New York and states around the country, DACA grantees are first responders, healthcare workers, teachers, and more, and our communities flourish because of them. Ending this program will tear families apart and remove hardworking Americans from their homes. I am proud to lead my fellow attorneys general in this tireless effort to keep our residents safe. Busco says NYC's $708 million suit over migrants is federal issue. A charter transportation company pressed a federal court to hear New York City's lawsuit, seeking to hold bus companies financially responsible for migrants' buzz to the city, arguing the lawsuit threatened the migrants' federal rights to travel between the states. New York advocates and researchers highlight new data on positive economic impact of new NYC immigrants. On February 1, advocates highlighted newly released data by the Immigration Research Initiative on the economic prospects of new arrivals and their positive contributions to New York City's economy. Researchers from the Immigration Research Initiative will explain their findings, which estimate $23 million in total wages and $2.6 million in state and local tax revenue is generated per 1,000 migrant workers within their first year. Advocates pointed to these numbers as proof that immigrant New Yorkers uplift our economy, State and city leaders must invest in legal services to ensure new arrivals can find pathways to work. The challenges associated with newly arriving immigrants are real, but they are largely temporary, said Anthony Capote, Immigration Research Initiative. Our research shows what so many researchers and advocates already know. Immigrants are resilient and capable of tremendous economic mobility. The longer new immigrants spend in the United States, the more their wages and economic contributions grow. In other news, USCIS issues final rule to adjust certain immigration and naturalization fees. On Tuesday, January 30, USCIS published a final rule to adjust certain immigration and naturalization benefit request fees for the first time since 2016. According to the USCIS, the final rule will allow them to recover their operating costs and support more timely processing of new applications. Unlike many other federal agencies, USCIS are almost entirely fee-funded. Approximately 96% of their funding is from filing fees, and only about 4% is from congressional appropriations. The final rule is the result of a comprehensive fee review, as required by law, and follows the January 2023 publication of a Notice of Proposed Rulemaking. The review concluded that the current fee schedule falls far short in recovering the full cost of agency operations, including the necessary expansion of humanitarian programs, federally mandated pay raises, additional staffing requirements, and other essential investments. Finally, NY.gov Kathy Huckle suggests deporting mob of migrants who pounded cops in caught-on-camera attack near Times Square. Republican polls are lining up to demand that the rowdy migrants nabbed in a caught-on-camera attack on 2 NYPD cops in Times Square get deported. And Gov Kathy Huckle said it's something that should certainly be looked at. The Democratic governor, speaking to reporters after announcing the nomination of Stephen G. James as New York State Police Superintendent Wednesday, January 31, was asked about the shocking beatdown and whether the asylum-seeking suspects should be deported. "I think that's actually something that should be looked at," Huckle replied. "I mean, if someone commits a crime against a police officer in the state of New York and they're not here legally, it's definitely worth checking into," she said. Thank you.
Our weekly immigration news roundup is brought to you by the law firm of Figueroa and Associates. For a consultation on any immigration or legal matter, please call 855-768-8845. That's 855-768-8845. For full stories and more immigration news, visit www.theimmigrantsjournal.com. That's www.theimmigrantsjournal.com.
The United States is consistently ranked among the best internationally for its competitiveness. Are you planning to start a new business or branch of your business in New York? Attend our Chamber Coalition's 5-week webinar series, Small Business Sense Bootcamp. We provide education and business preparation for small business owners and startups. Learn the basics of business planning, how to finance your business, business credit, marketing, and social media strategies, small business solutions, legal, tax, accounting, banking, and insurance, and how to do business within New York City, New York State, and corporations. Register at startupsbootcamp.eventbrite.com.
Are you interested in investing in real property, a home, or investment property in New York or other states? Then Equity Smart Realty Inc. can work with you. From potential returns to portfolio diversification, buying international property comes with its perks, but it's also a complex process, and there are tax matters to consider. Equity Smart Realty Inc. can help you purchase real estate in New York. We have the knowledge you need to simplify the process. Ready to discuss your options? Schedule a consultation on this matter, or start a business, or a branch of your business at www.askthelawyer.us. That's www.askthelawyer.us, or call 855-768-8845. Again, 855-768-8845.
Are you looking for a side hustle as an independent contractor? Are you looking to make extra cash and business opportunities? We have opportunities for graduates from our online Chambers Paralegal program to work with lawyers and other legal professionals in New York State or persons with similar qualifications. We also have opportunities for other chamber businesses in graphic arts and design, creating and updating websites in WordPress, the most popular platform, and other platforms, social media experts in the various platforms, and database experts. There is also a high demand for voiceovers, audio, and video podcast editing in the marketing field, journalists, and other professionals in the services industry who can work in the virtual world for U.S. businesses. Send your resume and a cover letter explaining why you or your business is the right fit for these partnerships to info@myiqinc.com. That's info@myiqinc.com.
Five ways you can legally work in the United States in 2024. The American dream is alive and well. Thousands of individuals seek immigration to the United States to explore opportunities and create a better life for themselves and their families. Many options are available to work in the U.S., whether you come with valuable experience, extraordinary skills, or sufficient funds to invest or start a business. Individuals are always looking for ways to work in the United States. But working in the U.S. illegally can severely hurt your chances of staying in the U.S. in the future. It can be more complicated to restore legal status if you work illegally. Let us explore 5 ways you can legally work in the United States to ensure this doesn't happen to you. 1. Get a job offer. When immigrating to the U.S. to work, you will need to successfully obtain a job offer from a qualifying U.S. employer, who will then file a petition on your behalf, their employee. Some of the visa categories available for applications that you will need a job offer for include H-1B visa. An H-1B visa is the most popular U.S. work permit that allows foreigners to work specialty occupations for U.S. employers. This means that your employment in the United States cannot be for just any type of work. The work performed must involve a high level of skill, such as in a professional occupation. L-1 visa. If you are being transferred to an existing U.S. business, the L-1 visa is the best type of U.S. work visa for you. L-1 visas are available to employees working for companies outside the United States, such as in Canada, that have branches, subsidiaries, affiliates, or joint venture partners in the United States. 2. Start a U.S. business. A few visa category options are available for those with sufficient funds to those wanting to start a U.S. business. E-2 visa. E-2 visas are designed for owners and investors in businesses in the United States. The E-2 visa is a temporary U.S. work visa that may be granted for substantial investments in the U.S., for which one must meet several requirements to qualify. E-1 visa. The E-1 visa, also known as the Treaty Trade Visa, is a non-immigrant visa for citizens of countries with which the U.S. has a treaty of commerce. While not all countries are eligible, business owners and investors from those that may qualify if they meet several criteria. L-1 visa. Earlier, we mentioned the L-1 visa as an excellent option for those seeking to work in the U.S. if they are being transferred abroad to a U.S. employer. The L-1 visa also allows individuals to expand their business to the U.S. 3. Holding extraordinary ability skills, O-1 visa. The temporary O-1 visa is intended for people who possess extraordinary skills in arts, sciences, business, education, or athletics, or who have a solid track record of extraordinary performance in the motion picture and television industry and have been identified and acknowledged domestically and internationally for their excellence. 4. Studying the U.S. OP or CPT OPT, optional practical training, and CPT, curricular practical training, are the 2 types of temporary employment opportunities available to non-immigrant student visa holders. In most cases, the U.S. government considers internships and employment for students on F-1 visas practical training. 5. Religious workers. R-1 visa. The R1 visa is a non-immigrant visa designed to help eligible religious workers work within the U.S. for a religious organization. The religious organization must be registered as a nonprofit in the U.S., linked to a U.S. religious denomination, or a religious group with a tax exemption. There are 10,000 available every year. Interested in working in the United States? If so, ask the lawyer. The international law firm of Figueroa and Associates has been practicing immigration law for a quarter of a century. Brian Figueroa, Esquire, is a member of the American Immigration Lawyers Association, AILA, and is widely regarded as NY's #1 immigration attorney. Ready for the next step? Schedule an appointment at www.askthelawyer.us or call 855-768-8845. Immigration law is dynamic and complex. The lawyer you hire does make a difference.
Do you have a legal issue, question, or concern? Turn to Ask the Lawyer. You have questions? We've got answers. For a consultation or to refer a client, visit www.askthelawyer.us. Again, www.askthelawyer.us. You can also register for our paralegal program, get legal news, business consults, or other information on educational issues. Yes, ask the lawyer. You have questions? We've got answers. For a consultation or to refer a client, visit www.askthelawyer.us. Again, www.askthelawyer.us.
The United States is consistently ranked among the best internationally for its competitiveness. Are you planning to start a new business or branch of your business in New York? Attend our Chamber Coalition's 5-week webinar series, Small Business Sense Bootcamp. We provide education and business preparation for small business owners and startups. Learn the basics of business planning, how to finance your business, business credit, marketing, and social media strategies, small business solutions, legal, tax, accounting, banking, and insurance, and how to do business within New York City, New York State, and corporations. Register at startupsbootcamp.eventbrite.com.
Divorce, separation, support, custody. The common factor? They keep you up at night. Sleep well knowing that you have the law firm of Figueroa and Associates on your side through this difficult time. Don't divorce your money. Don't divorce your children. Divorce your spouse. Whether it's a contested or uncontested divorce, the law firm of Figueroa and Associates will guide you through every step of the process. From child custody to property and debt concerns, the law firm of Figueroa and Associates has the experience and expertise in handling cases involving significant assets and complicated issues. A divorce can be one of the most unpleasant experiences a person ever has to go through. Don't do it alone. Stop the sleepless nights and call the law firm of Figueroa and Associates, 855-768-8845. That's 855-768-8845, or visit 311divorce.com. That's 311divorce.com. At the law firm of Figueroa and Associates, a divorce is not the end, it's a new beginning.
Are you interested in investing in real property, a home, or investment property in New York or other states? Then Equity Smart Realty Inc. can work with you. From potential returns to portfolio diversification, buying international property comes with its perks, but it's also a complex process, and there are tax matters to consider. Equity Smart Realty Inc. can help you purchase real estate in New York. We have the knowledge you need to simplify the process. Ready to discuss your options? Schedule a consultation on this matter, or start a business, or a branch of your business at www.askthelawyer.us. That's www.askthelawyer.us, or call 855-768-8845. Again, 855-768-8845.
Estate planning is a necessity, not a luxury. Let the law firm of Figueroa and Associates help you protect your legacy, assets, and loved ones. Get estate planning consultation on wills, living trusts and probate, power of attorney, health proxy, deed transfers, providing for special needs, disabled children and grandchildren, minimizing federal and state taxes. Call us right now at 855-768-8845. That's 855-768-8845. Or schedule an appointment at www.askthelawyer.us. That's www.askthelawyer.us.
Welcome back. This is Ask the Lawyer International Edition. You have questions, we've got the answers. Schedule an appointment now at www.askthelawyer.us. That's www.askthelawyer.us. Good day and a warm welcome to everyone. Today in the studio with us, we have a very special guest, Dr. Lantoinette Steins, who is the director of LACADCO. Lovely to have you, Ms. Steins. How are you?
I am perfect, my darling, in my warm Jamaica.
Wish I was there. What inspired the creation of LACADCO and how has its vision evolved since its inception?
Well, it first began, in Miami, Florida. I was there living, and I noticed that there wasn't a dance company that represented the tri-ethnic community of Hispanics, Blacks, and Caucasians, And I thought the dance could bring people together in that way, having all of that on stage. That was how when I was a very young girl and learning about history and Black history and everything. And then I decided to come back to Jamaica, and it started again. It was a rebirth. And in Jamaica, my focus became quite different. It was focused on a lot on Black Lives Matter from 100 years ago, because the company is now has had our 40th anniversary. So I was doing that kind of choreography from that time. And also to present the culture of my country. And also because of my experience in New York as a dancer, it ended up becoming the development of a new language in dance, the technique I have created in dance called Lantec. So that started to evolve because I realized that in contemporary dance, to represent Jamaica, we needed to also, because dance is language, we need to also dance in patois.
Yeah, absolutely. So could you elaborate on the unique aspects of Lantec, the dance technique pioneered by LACADCO?
The dance technique pioneered by Dr. Lantoinette Steins, because it is my creation, but assisted on the bodies of LACADCO dancers. Because if they didn't have faith in what I was doing, it could not have happened, for a fact. So it's a combination of both. Lantec is a technique that represents all that came off onto our land from way back in history. So what came off because of enslavement, and research that proved goes back further than enslavement. So on the body at the same time, you will see Africa and Europe. So we have a movement. If people are listening and they know dance, they will know what is a tondu, which is to point the toe. And so you will see that, but you will see the back doing a Haitian Yan Valou. And that Yan Valou has landed in Jamaica and ended up in Gully Creeper and all kind of dancehall movements. So it has become borrowed by us permanently. We never give it back.
Right.
And so the body is doing what I call a bridging to synergizing to bridge cultures. So it is not as if you dance and you do a classical movement and then you stand up in that spot and do a little traditional move. No, you're doing everything simultaneously as a technical procedure that's training the body to be a Caribbean dancer, a modern dancer dominated by Caribbean information.
So you touched upon it a bit, but how does LACADCO integrate Caribbean cultural elements into contemporary dance?
I think you would need a class, a demonstration. It is very, very difficult for me to verbalize it, but I will try. I think I started to do it before. We have a process that's different in that we don't have, most dance classes have a bar, a center, and progressions. We have 6 sections and we name them Traditional, which means it's traditional dance that we have now evolved to become indigenized. And we begin in a circle on the floor with the drummer in the center, getting the spirit, mind, and body to become united as one. Because dancers, a lot of dancers work full time. And when they rush to, that was my experience. And you run to dance class in New York, by the time you do the 4th exercise, your spirit not there. You just have body in motion. Because you just went through the jarring process of a subway or the jarring work process during the day. Somebody got on your nerve. You brought that through the door of the studio. You are at the bar and you have to release that in order to really dance. And to release that, you have to get your spirit, mind, and body to become one and flow together at the same time. So we begin with that. Then we have what we call Spirit Dance Center, when you are allowed to be you. And then the technical procedure that happens at the bar, the use of the bar is quite different because in classical ballet, you are touching the bar gently. But I thought that bar was such a fabulous instrument. Why am I touching it gently only? And so because we pull away from the bar and we have different positions at the bar that we use, positions that you couldn't use because you're on your heel and your body's all the way back. You have to hold that bar firmly. And because we do other kinds of alignments at the bar, our progressions, we don't have 5 positions on the feet. We have 6. Plus we have what we call the positions that represent the everyday Caribbean woman with our hand on our elbow, the kimbo, with our duck foot and our bottom slightly cock out. And she faced and she looked like she going to tell you 2 bad words.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I remember being at an airport and trying to get to the front of the line to ask a question and everybody's elbow was knocking me out. I am short and everybody had them hand on kimbo. And so that is a very important position that represents not Jamaica, but the entire Caribbean.
Right.
The other thing is that it is dominantly Jamaican retention because I'm Jamaican. But it also has, as I told you, borrowed information that came across the ocean, maybe with the Africans as well, like Haitian Yanvalu. But it also has Cuban, because if you look at the history of Jamaica, Cuba was here also, way back in history. And so does not look at all like the Cuban, La Técnica Cubana, which is from Havana, or the Eduardo Rivera technique, which is from Santiago. It is distinctly Lantec, a Carimon technique, which is now codified and examinable. So someone can study and get certificates level 1, level 2, until level 6, which is when you get professorship.
So, in what ways does LACADCO engage with the wider community and contribute to arts education?
Whoa. Now, let me tell you something. It educates to the wider community in the Caribbean.
Mm-hmm.
Not in Jamaica alone.
Yes.
Because of Lantec. Because now, on the exams, which are CSEC and CAPE exams, the exam that you have to take, because I'm speaking to a wider community, so let me explain. These exams that you have to take in order to graduate from high school, in performing arts, Lantec is one of the techniques that you can choose to study. A lot of people choose it because here I am, right here in Jamaica, and they can come and interview me and write papers on it. And in that way, because of that now, the information from the technique is in all the Caribbean islands can relate to it. That is one way. Also in having community involvement where people who cannot afford dance can come and study. Also our performances all over Jamaica.
You kind of touched upon my next question, which is what have been some of the most memorable milestones for LACADCO? I mean, having it to be a dance style where you have to use it to graduate is a pretty big milestone.
Well, Milestones for me are so I have different things that make me feel like it's a milestone. It's a milestone to me when I stop to buy a coconut and the coconut man said, Miss Lantonette, you're the dancer lady who have the technique when name Land, she can't pronounce it, but he know it exists. For me, that's a milestone.
Of course.
That the everyday person selling me a coconut, not in Kingston, in Trelawney, a parish far from Kingston. But if you want to know of milestones, that what people call milestones, for me, performing at CARICOM, CARIFESTA, where all the Caribbean islands are there who are members of CARICOM. And I go to teach a class and I expect to teach a class of 10, 15 people, and 80 something to 100 people are there. And I'm told I must kick out some people. I say, you're crazy. If I kick out one person, I didn't kick out a person, I kicked out a country. Because in CARICOM, you're representing a country. For me, that was a fantastic moment, because when I was a young girl starting Black CARICOM, my aim was to make the Caribbean at first know us. And then I had a second, you have your 5-year plan and your 10-year plan, was to make the rest of the world know us. For me, this recent tour to New York was a milestone as well, because there are many milestones. We have been to Japan and get standing ovation. But this recent tour to New York was very special to us, because we took ourselves there because we want Jamaicans Caribbeans to experience us. But we not only want Caribbeans, we want the dance world to know us. And it was really wonderful to see the full house, to get standing ovations. It was really nice of the Consul General to allow us to do it under her distinguished patronage. And so there are many milestones. The milestone of a little girl in my studio, learning Lantec, and then being able to pass it on in years to come. Having now people who have taken level 6 exams and can teach it in London, like Aureen Frater, who can teach it in London, Jessica Shaw, who went to Grenada to teach it. These are milestones. It means that my legacy will not die. And when you get to my age, that's important to you.
You know what they say, we lick about with Talawa. So in regards to legacy, how do you envision the future of Caribbean contemporary dance, and what role will LACADCO play in it?
One thing we as Caribbeans must always remember, that we are the source. It's a very important thing for our spirit, our identity, our love of self, to know we are source. Remember, the enslaved were brought to us, and then they went through what is called seasoning. It's a funny word that they use to describe it, seasoning. When I hear seasoning, I think garlic and onion and scallion.
Right.
And that seasoning means that they were taught to say yes, sir, and they were the gentler slaves, and those were the ones that they sent abroad. But you have to remember, that our slaves were really good at masking, and they were really good at making you think that you're seeing something that you're not seeing. Because even when they're saying yes, sir, master, them is causing a revolution in the back of their head. Something is happening that you're not going to expect. Okay? So our Caribbean, meaning not just Jamaica, Trinidad, Haiti, is rich with culture, but also rich with contemporary dance and modern dance. Because in Haiti, you have like John Guy. In Cuba, you have La Técnica Cubana. So, you have all these other techniques that evolve out of the source that the American space has to now acknowledge. We have to acknowledge that these techniques exist. That is our big job. And I feel that LACADCO, in touring internationally, in creating a documented, examinable technique, will be one of the sources that assists with that identity and that self-love and that knowledge that we are. I am. There's a man named Baba Chuck Davis, who was in charge of BAM Dance Africa, New York, who said, you mustn't say my name is, you must say I am. And that I am, that Ubuntu, I am, is very important. And I think the Caribbean is now going to step out again. And I hope that LACADCO will lead it.
So finally, what advice would you give to young dancers aspiring to join a company like Lacadco?
You know, I'm going to tell you a secret. If I should know how to answer that question, because everybody who interviewed me wants to know that. And I like yours. Yours is quite different. Believe it or not. Yours is aspiring to be a member of Lacadco. I don't get that question. I get, you want to be a dancer, or yours is quite different. Congratulations. Aspiring be, I think, first of all, I don't look for dancers who can just do steps. I look for dancers with a soul. I need passion on my stage. I need you to love you on my stage. I have dancers that when you look at them, when they come on the stage at the enter curtsy, you say, my God, them look feisty. I love that. I love that they look feisty. Because what they're saying is, I am. Or we, as a community, we are. And so I look for dancers that sometimes they come to me and they're not, because they will not know my technique at first. But I can see the fire in them, and I can see that they are ready to train and to know that it is a responsibility, and to know that it's not something that you're going to just get and jump up and down and learn overnight, but it's a process. And once I see that, you know, I am ready to take that dancer. You don't have to have a devil play up in your ears, but you have to have a sense of where your leg is. You have to know your leg and your foot. And, you know, you have to have that presence and that ability for me to teach you how to take it to somewhere else. I think that's what you need to do to be a Lacadco dancer. You have to be spirit, mind, and body moving at one time. And if you're open for me to teach you that, then you can be a Lacadco dancer. I am Dr. Lantoinette Oshunide Steins. And I'm grateful for this interview. And I hope everybody listening to me, big them up with lots of love.
Do you have a legal issue, question, or concern? Turn to Ask the Lawyer. You have questions? We've got answers. For a consultation or to refer a client, visit www.askthelawyer.us. Again, www.askthelawyer.us. You can also register for our paralegal program, get legal news, business consults, or other information on educational issues. Yes, ask the lawyer. You have questions? We've got answers. For a consultation or to refer a client, visit www.askthelawyer.us. Again, www.askthelawyer.us.
Do you want to be a paralegal? Or are you planning to go to law school? Our Chamber Coalition's online paralegal program is the right program to get you started. Some of the areas of law include contracts, property law, tort liability, civil procedure, constitutional law, immigration, civil rights, estate planning, wills and trusts, and matrimonial, plus legal research and writing, legal marketing, and small business. We also use Cali, which is used in law schools, and you get extra certificates from Clio and LexisNexis. By graduating from this program, you can market yourself as a virtual paralegal for attorneys and law firms in New York State. There is a one-time fee of $550. Are you excited to learn more? Register for an orientation at www.freeparalegal.org. That's www.freeparalegal.org.
Thank you for listening to Ask the Lawyer International Edition with attorney Brian Figueroa of the law firm Figueroa and Associates in New York. We hope you enjoyed the show, which featured immigration visitors visa, starting and doing business in New York, entertainment and business visas, religious visas, and much more. Whether you are outside the U.S. or have family in New York, the number to call, share, and keep is 855-768-8845. That's 855-768-8845. Please schedule a consultation with us at www.askthelawyer.us. That's www.askthelawyer.us. This is Ask the Lawyer, International Edition. You have questions? We've got the answers.